Alright, what's going on, guys? Jeff here. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow is Good Friday, so the market will not be open tomorrow. So today I'll be going through my weekly trades with you guys. So I'll put the weekly trades up first, and then afterwards we'll go through some news. Okay, so first up for weekly trades. Okay, so I do have. Okay, I sold a lot of my Futu puts. However, I still have another additional 50%, 54% actually, 54% left of my Futu puts that I did not sell. Today will most likely be the last day because if I don't get to sell them today, then most likely it will have to expire worthless, which definitely will take a hit at my profit margins. So I am looking to lose about maybe $2,000 or so. Okay, but of course, like I said before, my Futu puts have already garnered me about like a good $4,000 or $5,000 in profits. So no complaints there. All right, next up, I bought a lot of hard 8 calls. I bought actually 24 hard 8 calls because previously I had 6 hard 8 calls. I just wanted to round it up. For hard 8 calls, I was actually calling for the $5 region. Is going to be expiring late this year. So I don't think that there's going to be too much of a problem for my hard 8 calls in general, as I do think that nearing to this year, we will see a lot more movement in the crypto scene. All right, and then next up, I did buy more Lemonade. All right, so the thing is that I talked about Lemonade before. Lemonade is this insurance company where it's just all-in-one insurance company. I like this company a lot. However, I did sell calls on it, and afterwards I covered. I closed my position. I closed my position on those covered calls. I lost about, I think, $80 or so. Nothing too crazy, of course, because it was just trying out the margins and such. But yeah, I bought more shares in Lemonade, and then finally I bought more shares in SoFi. Okay, I'm very, very happy to see SoFi actually going down to the $7 region. I do see SoFi as a easily a $15 stock, $16 stocks. So for me, SoFi was a no-brainer for myself. And then lastly, I bought 2 more alphabets, which is Google. Okay, I do think that Google is still considerably underpriced, especially with how it is right now. It's currently at $2,600. I do like to price Google at somewhere around $3,000 to even $3,200. For this current price target, I do see Google going all the way to about $4,000. Of course, this is pre-split. If we're talking about post-split, then you just divide by 20 and you can kind of see how much I would see Google at. But anyway, weekly trades out of the way. Let's cover some news today. All right, so today we actually see something very, very interesting. Okay, this literally just came out like an hour ago. Okay, Elon Musk launches a $43 billion hostile takeover of Twitter. Okay, and before we actually get into this, I just want to say, on the 12th of April, I recorded this, okay? On the 12th of April, I recorded this. So, of course, I do think that the higher possibility would be a hostile takeover by Elon Musk. But, of course, we'll see how that actually goes. Anyway, I want to make this a short video. So yeah, like I said in my video, okay? It will be a hostile takeover by Elon Musk. That was what I thought as well. Okay, I'm a little bit gutted that I did not really trust my own feelings about it, and I did not really buy any calls on Twitter, even though I actually called for a hostile takeover. But of course, you cannot win at every single prediction that you actually make. But anyway, let's go through the news a little bit. Okay, Elon Musk wants to buy every share at $54.20, mainly because of the 4.20. Which is 420, which is Blaze It. He wants to do a 54.2. Of course, right now, Twitter in the pre-market is actually at about $50.72 at the moment. He actually went all the way up to $53.60 earlier upon the news dropping. But yeah, of course, this is by no means saying that this is a confirmed deal. Okay, Elon Musk basically just made an offer to Twitter. And just this is one of the best offer that Twitter is gonna get, and because Elon Musk is also the biggest shareholder in the company, and if No one, as the biggest shareholder, if the entire company just received a 54% over premium of what they're actually supposed to be worth. So that a lot of time the bigger shareholder got a right to actually tell the actual board of directors and be like, why are you guys not selling? This is a good deal, that kind of thing. So over here, you say, the world richest person will offer $54.20 per share in cash, representing a 54% premium over the January 28 closing price and a value of $43 billion. Okay, so of course, it went up 18% in the pre-market. Right now, it's down a little bit, about 10% or so. But yeah, it's a little bit crazy for us to actually see what it actually became of it. But of course, you see, unsatisfied with the influence that comes with being Twitter's largest investor, he has now launched a full takeover, one of the few individuals who can afford it outright. He's currently worth about $260 billion, according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index, compared with Twitter's market valuation of $37 billion. So he's basically overpaying about $6 billion. Okay. In a letter to the Twitter's board, Musk said he believes Twitter will neither thrive nor serve societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. Okay, if the deal doesn't work out, given that I don't have confidence in the management, nor do I believe I can drive the necessary change in the public market, I will need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. So yeah, basically a hostile takeover like I expected. Okay, but honestly speaking, from here on out, okay, there is a good chance that people are treating this as buy the rumor, sell the news. Okay, so if you are in Twitter, start hedging your positions. Start hedging your position. It's so important. Okay, because you have to think about it this way as well. Okay, first of all, the moment that they actually say that, okay, we're going to be selling this company, chances are Twitter's pricing is going to be at about $54, $55 maybe. It's very hard for them to actually go above the threshold. Okay. And once that actually happened, chances are Elon Musk is going to actually bring this company private, which is what he's already saying as it is. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. Okay. Secondly, the thing is that for people, let's just say the second scenario, okay? If Elon Musk fails to buy the company at $43 billion in valuation, be it Parag Agrawal or be it Jack Dorsey or whoever it is in the board of directors says, no, we are not going to be selling Twitter because we don't think that Twitter should go private. Twitter should be public. Okay? If that were to be the case, that means that a very, very high offer just got declined. AKA that this valuation of this company is going to go down. It just makes sense. Okay. So buy the rumor, sell the news. A lot of people has been buying the rumor over the past 2-3 days. And right now, a lot of people are starting to sell the news. Okay. So of course, if you're able to do so, hedge on this information. Be you want to sell some calls, be you want to sell the shares away and then buy it in the future. Up to you. Okay. But whatever it is, I don't expect Twitter to really stay that frothy, unless if we do get new information, such as if Elon Musk says that, you know what, we don't think that Twitter have to be private. We just think that Twitter needs to have a huge percentage being held by the CEO, which is AKA himself or whoever it is. But I don't think he can be the CEO if it's a public company, because I think that's what happened with Jack Dorsey, where he was also the CEO of Twitter and also CEO of Block, which is Square. And because of that, he had to kind of like sacrifice one. And because Elon Musk will never sacrifice his seat at a Tesla board, so chances are he's just going to be one of the biggest shareholder, like even bigger than what he is now. So yeah, I'll have to see how that goes. But if Twitter actually goes to a private company, yeah, chances are buy the rumor, sell the news. So yeah, that's my take on it. All right, next up. Russia threatens new nuclear deployment if Sweden, Finland joins NATO. So yeah, we're back to the NATO talk again. Okay, now it's not about Ukraine. Now it's talking about Sweden and Finland. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not someone who is like super duper knowledgeable about the whole NATO situation either. So yeah, Finland and Sweden are members of the EU, which is the European Union. but not NATO, and the latter shares a 830-mile border with Russia. Russia says a nuclear-free Baltic region would no longer be possible if Finland and Sweden join NATO, alluding to additional nuclear deployment in Europe. There can be no more talk of any nuclear-free status for the Baltic. The balance must be restored. Let's see. If Finland and Sweden did join NATO, this would give Moscow more officially registered opponents. He claimed that the NATO was planning to admit the two Nordic states with a minimal bureaucratic procedures. AKA, they are saying that NATO intends to let them in with very, very little deterrence. Just come on, Sweden, come on, Finland, just come in, just join us. It's all right. We'll try to make this as easy, as seamless as it is for you guys to join. So yeah, of course, if Finland and Sweden do join NATO, then yeah, that kind of brings to Russia two more additional opponents that they kind of don't want to be facing against either. So yeah, Russia's response should be taken with no emotion, with a cold head. So yeah, it's nothing new. Lithuanian defense minister said, adding that Russia already has nuclear weapon in the Baltic region. The current Russian threats look quite strange when we know that even without the present security situation, they keep the weapon 100 kilometers from Lithuania's border. Nuclear weapons have always been kept in Kaliningrad. The international community, the countries in the regions are perfectly aware of this. They use it as a threat. So yeah, again, this would just prop up more geopolitical tensions in the future. Some of the fears that I always talk about. Geopolitical tensions have always been a huge fear of mine, especially since January, where they were actually talking about the whole Russia-Ukraine. And of course, when February 24th, when the invasion sadly had to start, and that actually triggered more concerns for the geopolitical concerns that I actually had. So yeah. All right. Since we're talking about Russia, let's talk about Russian oil. Cheap Russian oil, actually, because India actually bought a lot of cheap Russian oil. And right now, India is starting to look at cheap coal. Like I said before, ethical and non-ethical oil, I'm not a fan of ethical oil. I don't think that makes sense. Business is business, even though relations do play a huge part. But, there will definitely be countries who do not care about ethics. At the end of the day, if your country needs it a lot, that just has to be the case. For US, they can actually come out to say, we're going to be banning Russian crude because the US can handle it. Okay, not everyone can handle it. So of course, that's not going to be easy for the European countries and such. So yeah, I think that what India did was, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit smart. All right, so India's coal import from Russia jumped in March to highs not seen in more than 2 years. The European Commission last week proposed banning Russian coal as part of a new round of sanctions against Moscow for its invasion of Ukraine. Markets suspect that India and China may boost coal imports from Russia, offsetting some of its impact of its formalized EU ban on Russian coal imports. The White House have fired 2 warning shots today, pressuring India to be on the right side of history and avoid aligning with Russia. There likely won't be a third if this persists. So yeah, I think that this has always been quite prevalent for us to actually look at, how India have always been on the side of Russia. I don't think that India has. I don't think India actually. I don't think India is in the same position as China, where they actually have this no limits friendship with Russia to begin with. However, I do think that India is definitely a little bit biasly sided with Russia a little bit, especially on the sense where they are able to actually profit a little bit from this whole entire thing. They are able to get cheaper oil from Russia. They're going to be able to get cheaper coal imports from Russia as well. Okay. Similarly, I did say before that this would definitely be a possibility, because if a lot of countries start to ban Russian crude, India and China could be the countries where basically they just take in Russian crude and then they just repackage it and sell it out. Okay. B2B and B2C. Okay. Whoever who wants oil, find China. Whoever who needs oil, find India. And because of that, they are able to do a markup, and that's how they can actually slowly expand their country as well. So I do think that at the end of the day, I do feel that for China and India, that would most likely be how they're actually doing it. Because think about it this way, okay, if India is the one that's buying the unethical oil from Russia, they just kind of repackage the oil and sell it over to the EU. The EU are not buying unethical oil, they're buying it from India. India did not wage any war, you know. So that's kind of how it is. And yeah, I'm not sure how this will actually go, honestly speaking, but I do think that India is really doing this textbook style in my eyes. But of course, ethically, India is definitely being put on the red mark by all the other countries, especially for US. So yeah, okay. Finally, let's talk about the Feds. Okay, the Fed's Waller sees a likelihood of multiple half-point interest rate hikes ahead. Finally, we're talking about this. We're finally talking about this. This is super duper important, okay? A likelihood of multiple half-point interest rate hikes, okay? AKA 50 basis point increment, multiple 50 basis point increment in the future. If in May FOMC, we do see a 50 basis point increment, I see that as bearish. First of all, I do think that they need a 50 basis point increment in May. They need a 50 basis point increment. However, if they were to do so, whatever Waller said over here, Christopher Waller, whatever Christopher Waller said over here would definitely be opening up a lot of loopholes in the future, because the first 50 basis point hike would attract the possibility of the second, third, and the fourth 50 basis point hike. And it's kind of like a prophecy going on and on. However, if we do get a 25 basis point increment, which is also a possibility, personally, I'm okay. You know what? I'm actually going to be doing this for Saturday's video, where I'm going to be telling you guys about my own mindset and like my own prediction about the interest rate hike for the next FOMC. I thought that it would be quite an interesting topic for us to actually talk about as well. But I'm just going to give you guys the brief preview here. I would think that it's 70% possibility for the Feds to actually rate hike by a 25 basis point, simply because the core inflation that we got for CPI 2 days ago was only 0.3% month over month, as compared to 0.5%, which is what we're actually expecting to begin with. Okay, to see 0.3% for the core inflation month over month increment, pretty good. I see that as very, very bullish. Okay. However, if the Feds were to react in a different manner, if the Feds think that they want to react in a bearish manner, where they think, oh no, okay, this is bad. Okay, we are worried that inflation is at 8.5% year over year. We need to increase our interest rates ASAP. 50 basis point instantly. Let's do that. 50 basis point. And then the next FOMC 50 basis point. And the next FOMC 50 basis point. If we see the first 50 basis point, it literally just opened up for the possibility of what Christopher Waller is going to be saying here, which is more likelihood of multiple half-point interest rate hikes. And when that actually happens, then you will kind of run into the prophecy of how Paul Volcker era actually had, when we had 15%, 15% for inflation, okay, and we have that 11% for the interest rate as such. It was crazy because interest rate had to just follow up with inflation, and they have to forcefully crash the market. They have to forcefully force a recession out of nowhere. That's what the Feds have to kind of do. Okay, if they continue doing half-point interest rate hike in quick succession, if they were to do 3 or 4 half-point interest rate hike, I can almost guarantee you that a pseudo recession will happen. That's kind of how it is. Okay, if you're looking at the 30-year Treasury yield alone, okay, we have finally hit the same high that we had in 2009. Okay, aka buying houses right now is almost the same. The amount of interest that you're gonna pay for your housing mortgage rate right now is about 5%. The last time we hit 5% was 2009. So yeah, the more that we slowly goes up, okay, and that means that the housing market, okay, a lot a lot of finance YouTubers are saying, the housing market, okay, the housing bubble has finally popped. Okay, we're going into the 2008 region where, it's way too expensive to buy a house, and then it's just gonna pop. The entire mortgage market is gonna get destroyed. And if we actually take that into consideration, we also have this half-point agreement. There's definitely gonna be way more fears around this whole situation. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this too much because I will explain more about this on Saturday. All right, now for the last part of it, okay, let's go over to earnings. Okay, for earnings, today the earnings isn't super duper interesting because let's look over here. We do have TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor. This is already reported, I think, earlier. United Health, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, all the banks are starting to get their earnings report out of the way. But of course, after we saw what happened with JPM, chances are Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, all of them are supposedly going to be performing less. Well, I won't say I won't say that they will have less profit per se, but I do think that they will be getting a worse quarter as compared to what they had in the last year. All right. So let's see if we have anything else interesting here. Tomorrow is going to be Good Friday, so nothing's going to really be reported. On Monday, we got Bank of America. We got Charles Schwab's, Bank of New York. Yeah, more banks again, of course. Even on Monday. Okay, the thing is that because we are starting the earnings seasons as it is, I think that the next most interesting earnings that we do have is most likely going to be Netflix on the 19th, Tesla on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we should most likely be having was it AT&T? I'm not sure if AT&T is gonna be on the 19th. Hold on, let me check. AT&T is on the okay. AT&T is going to be on the 21st, which is also something that I really like to see because for AT&T, usually for AT&T you have to always look out for every single quarter because there might be changes to the dividends and such, and because of how AT&T has been built to be a dividend company in the long run, it's very, very important for people to actually check out for their earnings report every single quarter as well. By the way, that's all for the earnings side of things. By the way, that's all I have actually for today. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Saturday actually, because tomorrow it won't be a training day and I can finally rest. So yeah, see you guys.